I am Shadow of Shadow Gaming, bringing you episode 22 of Programming with Shadow. In today's lesson, we are going to be implementing basically a text file explorer. We're going to be making use of some of the things we've used recently, like linked lists, maybe some interfaces, and we're just going to put something together. So we're just going to hop right in. So let's begin with create a file. Let's call it folder node.cs. So this will be our node, so we'll have public class folder node. Should do a namespace using there we go. Public string folder path. Get. So we'll have it get only, so once we add one, we won't be able to change what's there. Name node. Alright. String folder path. There we go. So there's going to be our node for our linked list. Let's add another class. So let's just do it in here, and we'll extract it out like we've done before. No. There we go. Let's extract that out to a separate file. There we go. Okay, it still didn't put it in the namespace, so put it in the same namespace. All right. So now let's see. So we'll need to know the current one. So it's fussing right now that it needs initialized. Let's do that in the constructor. Start path. So we're going to use their first. Here, let's go over to the CSproj. Let's disable implicit usings. All right, there we go. All right, so first one we're going to use is if directory .exist start path. If it doesn't, we will throw a new let's do argument, I guess. Exception. That one. Do name of start path. Let's put the custom message. Let's do start path does not exist. Something like that. Else the current equals new folder node start path. And it has no parent because it is the parent. So there we go. So there's just the start of our linked list. Now it's just telling us it's not used. So let's go ahead and scaffold out the methods first. So we'll have a public void list contents. Have a public void move into. Sorry about that. String folder name. We'll have a public void move up. This is to go back up to parent. And we'll have a public void show current. I think that's all I'm planning. So let's go ahead and move into the some code. Let's see. Go ahead and go to the program.cs here. Let's make scaffold out a little more. Do console.write. Let's enter start directory. So here we're going to get the input from the user. We're going to say, where do you want to start from? And we're going to loop through whatever through after that. We'll do string start path equals console.readline. Now if string.is null or white space, start path, or go to directory.exists, start path. So if it doesn't exist, so it's an error here. So we'll do console.writeline invalid start directory. And we're done. Else, let's do create us our file navigator. Passing in that start path. So let's keep a variable here. Here. Copy this. We'll use the simpler notation. Or not. Shortcuts are acting funny. Running equals true. So this is just going to be our status variable while running console.write. We'll come back to this, but right now it's a new line, and we'll just give ourselves a prompt. Console.read. If, let's see, null or white space input, continue. We should tell the user what we're expecting them to type. I just not do that. We'll come back to that though. Let's go ahead and finish what I'm doing. We expect this to be 2 parts. On that one. The string command equals parts at 0.lower. So that's just to get all of our commands. It's going to or get them all down to the same case if you could type either. There, let's say if the parts length is greater than 1, then parts length equals first value, otherwise empty string. So all of the commands aren't going to have an argument, just some of them are. So the command here would be it's .NET, and then my arguments It's actually subcommand here, but run. Maybe the news here is subcommand, and then console's the argument. So that's what this is doing. So let's do switch and so on the command. So case, we have ls break case cd break case up case up load break case print working directory break and then case exit. Running equals false and break. Now default and ls cd folder up cd exit break. Right, let's do something like that. Something like that. Alright, so let's add some code. We'll do here this contents. Here we'll do if like that else. Here's where we'll actually do the value. Move into argument. Navigator dot move up. Print working directory. Already did exit. So there we go. I think that's the basics of what I want to do here for the little intro. Do the first one. Let's do let's get our usage here. Since we're using this in multiple places, maybe I just want to cut Control X, and let's come up here and let's do string usage string equals that. Now we're coming down here and do usage string, and we'll do it right here beforehand too. Something like that. So there we go. So there's this little sample. We'll just do a .NET run. Go ahead and let it build for the first time here. So that's just giving us a couple actually don't know if it's located here or not. Okay, it did. Alright, but nothing except exit works, but there we go. There's this little tool. I was like, I actually don't know if it starts in the current directory or if it needs a different directory. But it accepted it, so I would say we're good. Let's give something that doesn't exist. So wrong bin. Invalid start. Okay, good. Let's see if we do an absolute path. Okay. All right. So, okay. Good. That works how I'm wanting it. So let's go ahead and start extending. So let's begin with go ahead and implement these methods. So let's start with list contents because it's not that complex. So there's two ways we can go about this. First, we could just list it, just do it. We could also make it a non-enumerable since we've talked about that. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the path I've thought through and not do IEnumerable. If we have time at the end, we may reconfigure, but let's just start here. So let's do. So all this is going to do is list out the current directories for contents. So again, we'll do /n contents of current dot folder path. I'm going to use var. So let's mention var. So what this is really is a directory info. So we'll do get So if we come over here and do dot here and use explicit dot, oh, never mind, it is a string array. Okay. So what var does is it's a shorthand. It says let the compiler figure out the type, and a lot of times when one's like this, when you don't care what type it is, that's fine. In fact, I tend to use var most of the time. So you've seen me try to go and type it. That's because that's what I use regularly. But you may start seeing me showing that more, and just know if you see var, it just stands for variable. It's letting the compiler figure it out, and if it can't figure it out, then you have to do something with it. But if it can figure it out, which it can most of the time, you're good. Let's do files. Let's see if it's a string array too. Notice you have to do it twice. Maybe another way to do that where you don't have to do it twice and combine them, but this seems to be fine. Let's check. Let's do an error check here. If directories.length equals 0 and not directory files length equals 0, we'll do a console write line. We'll say empty directory. Return. So we're finished there. Otherwise, let's display them. For each var. I'm having second thoughts here. Right now, I was just going to do it myself. We could probably just join them together. Let's do it ourselves. String dir in directories. I call it directory. Up here, let's press F2. We'll change that to directory. Spacing. All right. So we'll do console.write line. So here's what I was thinking of doing was just dir to stand for directory. And then print the name. Something like that's what I was planning. And do the same thing here for each string file in files. Do the same thing. I want that all caps though. So there we go, and if I want to, you can use this as a interpolated string as well. That's actually how I did it in my writing, but that's what I thought of as I was doing it here. So this should be what I'm wanting here, and now we have a list. Move into, it'll just be do string new path equals path.combine. So this is a new method we haven't looked at before. So current.folder path, folder name. The path.combine combines two strings into a path, and it does this for, well, there's the message. If combine path, the combined paths, if one of the specified paths is a zero-length string, the method returns the other path. Path 2 contains an absolute path, the method returns path 2. So what this is doing is it's taking your path and appending stuff onto it, and it's handling the, if you do a forward slash or backslash, depending on if it's Windows or Linux, it's handling all that for you. The other way you can do it's path.join, and you can do it like that as well. Depends on what you want out of it. In this case, I think combines what I want, so we'll go with combined. Now we'll do if directory.exists new path. Right line, folder name does not exist. There we go. Return current equals new folder node new path current. All right, so there's our creation of our linked list. Notice instead of next, we're doing it the other way. We're starting at a point and we're saying, okay, there's the root, go down, then we have the subfolder, and then we can go back and forth like that. Actually, I don't think I thought of going back, actually. But if I had thought of going, I guess up here, move up to the parent. Let's implement it. So if current dot parent is null. So if it's null, we'll error out. So something like right line already at the root folder, period. Then we'll return else current equals current.parent. And show current directory is easy, so it would just do console.writeline /n current path current.folder path. So there we go. There's just our implementation. So this is rough, but this generally does what I would want. So some things we could extend if we wanted. We could add a sort here and sort the files as we display them. Could add a back. We could colorize our outputs right now. That's just going to be whatever color the console is, which is white here. I think this is actually gray, but whatever color this is. Let's go ahead and run this and see what we do, but I think next I'm going to do the colorization just because I want to. Might do a path as well. We'll see. Let's see what happens though. So we'll run bin again. Debug. So cd debug, cd net 9.0. There we go. Now we've listed out some files, so there's just some files. Let's do exit and let's rerun. Pick another one with files and that. Let's just do C drive. There we go. Got directories, got folders. But it did not work. That's pointing to the root here rather than where it should be. So let's see if that's a bug. That one worked. So let's do up. Okay. So can't handle the C drive, so let's try one more thing. There we go. Okay, needed to add the slash to it. There's files and directories, but okay, it sort of works. Could be a little bit of an issue. Let's do cd users, cd shadow. Not in a terminal. cd source maybe. cd source. I've spelled it out. cd simple file navigation. Now if we do ls, we're back here. We can do up. Now we do ls. Now we're up a level. Okay, so everything's working. PWD, current path. Okay, so there we go. So generally it's working all right. So let's increment on it. So in programming, you'll usually have your most success if you do incremental progress. So you get something working, test it, see that it works. Then once it's working, then you can go ahead and extend it. So that's what we're going to do now. So like I said, I think I'm going to do let's do a little more error handling. So right now I'm handling only the very basest of errors. If something's not accessible, for example, we can have problems. So let's do some cleanup. So back over here, let's go to list. So after this step, all this stuff, the get files, get file names, all this can fail if you don't have access, things like that. Let's correct that. So let's do let's wrap this in a try. I'm pretty sure I've showed a try before. I want to just wrap the whole thing. We'll do a catch, an authorized exception, console.write line, access denied to this folder. There we go. Put up some of these spaces. So there can be other errors as well. So I'll do a more formal catch here as well. We'll just do exception ex. So 1 and 2 letter variable names usually aren't a good thing. This is so low locally scoped, like it's just going to be in here. So I would almost always use e or ex for this case, unless there's a lot you have to do there. If there's a lot, that's another story. But if all you're going to do is log it out to the console or something, I would just stick with something simple here. And we're going to get the message out of the exception. So what went wrong? And there we go. We just made that a little better. We should probably do move into as well. Yeah, it'll do the same thing. So directory exists. We're good. Or if it doesn't exist. So let's do a try here. Try. We'll add a catch. Authorize the exception. We'll do the same thing. So console.writeLine. I'm looking at the wrong code. We'll do access denied to this folder, something like this. We'll do the formal outside catch as well. Console.writeLine error accessing folder ex.message. So let's move this inside. Now in the try, let's make sure it's actually a directory before we actually move it, because we haven't done that. We checked that path exists, directory exists. Oh, that should be it. Now let's go ahead and check. I thought I needed this. Maybe I don't, but let's do it. If file.get attributes new path and file attributes dot directory not equal to file attributes dot directory. Console.writeLine folder name is not a folder. And return. So I'm not actually sure. Thinking about this now, this one, it doesn't exist here. You gave it a file. I'm not sure this catch won't catch that as well, but what this is doing here is it's getting the attributes of this path here, and it's doing this and. So this and is saying, okay, see if the bits here you get attributes here is I think I'll put up as a flag file attributes. I have to check exactly what that is, but you and it with this, and it says, okay, if the bits match, if the bits are anything else than a directory, then we go in here. That's what we're doing here. That's the basic logic. So if it's not a directory, we say it's not a directory. Let's see. The problem here, if we got the parent before, I think it should be valid. I was just showing what we currently. Okay. Let's go to here. Let's do this. Start this is, let's clean up the handling here. Let's do null while true console.writeLine write enter start directory start folder. I used directory before. Let's not use directory this time. So start path equals console.readLine. So if null or white space start path and directory.exists start path. Right. So get out of the loop, else do it again. Invalid start folder. Please try again. There we go. So that cleans up the handling a little bit. Yes. So now we'll just keep looping until they give us a valid folder. A little more cleanup. Um, Here we could, let's add a message here. Let's do console.write line. Please enter a command. Let's see. I think there was one other one I thought of as we were going through. Oh, it was, I fixed it already. It was the use. Tell them what you're using. Okay, so there's just a little more cleanup. So I don't have a good way to test that one. Maybe I could do something like this. Let's try this. We'll do valid, try again. What? I didn't know they existed. Wait a minute. Oh, I know what it is. It's I know what it is. Yeah, DVD. Okay. Yeah, never mind. Exit. Let's try that again. We'll actually use a one that doesn't exist this time. Let's do there we go. Let's do C. CD what is it called? I don't think I can do that. I don't actually don't think I can do one with spaces. Oh, I can. Interesting. Did not think it would let me do that. Let's go into well, I thought one of these might have access denied, but maybe not. There, access denied. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. So we could try to check some of the other ones. That'll do. But so there, we've made it a little more, a little more. Not going to fail as easily. We catch some a couple more easy errors. Let's go and let's say I want to colorize this output, like these different colors, maybe. Let's do that. So next increment, we're adding colors. Y, or I don't know. It's what I chose. Let's see. So if we come here, we can do this line here. We'll do console dot foreground color. Let's say we do what's the mineral contrast here? Maybe cyan, not dark, just regular. We'll do cyan. And now we'll do console dot reset color. There we go. So I think this will do what I want. So the idea here is we set the foreground color to cyan, and then we reset it once we're done. And file. I think. Let's see what this does, but I think this is actually what I want. We'll just do bin. Oh, let's do a dot here. Yeah. We could add some more colors if we want. And maybe I would just want the dir to be different colors. Maybe that's what I actually want. Yeah. Tell you what, instead of that, let's do a fix here. Add one more space just to line those up a little bit. So if I wanted to do it as a dir, all you would do is extract that part out. So we could do something like this. So foreground console.write We'll stop there. Console.write line. Do spaces and do spaces and do path dot get file named or there. I think that'll just color what I want. We'll use the current directory again. There we go. So we could do the same thing here for file. Do this, copy, paste, file. Now we're going to do this, but we'll leave the space in place. Let's do a different color. Let's say green. I don't know. Maybe green's all right. Now if we do a dot and ls, now we should see them and that's green as well. But let's keep a little more attention. Let's do this. Let's make that errors here. Let's do we'll make the errors easier to see. Also down here, here. We go. There's just a little more color. So there we've added some color. Maybe I want this to be green. Let's do that. Let's do foreground color equals. Let's do this one as green. Let's go back over the files. Let's make the files dot. See what magenta looks like, but it's probably not the color I want. I could live with that actually, never mind. So yeah, so there we go. There's just a second increment and we added some color. I was thinking what could do next would be to add a breadcrumb trail here telling you where you're at. We're quickly running out of time, but let's go ahead and do that and we'll skip the recap. So let's adjust file navigation here and adjust show current. We'll do current path, just like we're doing. So here we're incrementing again. Yeah, never mind, let's not. What I was about to do there was about to do what the next lesson's going to be anyway, so let's not do this. So we'll go ahead and stop with that then. So we'll say that's a future extension you could do. You could add a path there, direct, or I can't think what it's called, breadcrumb. The like C : users shadow source, whatever, however you want to do that, you could add that there and be able to point back through your list. And what you could do is you could use the numbers. You could add a different color for highlighting, help it let it support Linux paths instead of Windows, stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe we will look into that next time. That'll let us move into a stack. But yeah, maybe we hold off on that. We do to do implement breadcrumbs via stack. It may actually be a good place to continue on into next time. Because after that we could do let's see. Yeah, we could adjust some other features as well. I like that. That may be the next step then. So in the next lesson, maybe that's where we go further as we continue building up on this. Maybe we want to do this as well. Contents of that instead of saying contents of. Maybe we say what the directory is. So maybe a to do if current directory, consider using name of directory instead. There's just another to do. There's just two things we could do. Another thing might could be I don't think maybe we want to do Linux path as well. Maybe I'll keep that in mind too. So that maybe is just some future expansions we could do here. Maybe we could do executables as well. Like maybe instead of just doing files as green, maybe we add executables as yellow. But in Windows, it's harder to do. All I could think of would be to use the .exe. Maybe not. I'll think on that. All right. So I think that's going to do it though for this lesson. So in this lesson, we've just been implementing a little bit around some of the features we've previously talked about. We built up a little program here that takes a directory, and lists out directories and files underneath it. The nothing majorly new. We've used the linked list, but this linked list starts at the bottom and works its way back up. A little different than what we've seen before. We also didn't use any some of the natural navigation methods. We named them differently and used them slightly differently for the context. But we still made use of the linked list. That's what's really happening here is linked list. We're only storing the current node, and the current node knows the parent and the path. So that's all we're really doing here. So we're using a linked list, but we're not at the same time. We've also seen a little bit with the directory class and the path class. Get directories, get files, and they do exactly what you think. They get the directories of whatever path you give it, or get the files and use them to write out the information here. I was going to make this a separate method here to clean this up if I wanted to, maybe. We did some error checking, did a little bit of testing to make sure the errors actually worked, and barely got that working. Yeah, that's pretty much what we covered today. The next time we might look into this, so implementing breadcrumbs via a stack. A stack's another data structure like a linked list. You can find that you can have data structures inside of data structures. That may be a good next step though, because I was thinking of moving into stacks and pretty soon anyway. Maybe that'll be a future lesson. Directive there is unnecessary. As the directive necessary. Did I have a typo there? Yeah, I don't know why that was a problem. I'll have to check the video to see what the problem was there. But yeah, I think that was a good progress, good walkthrough. So I think we'll call it there. So next lesson, I do think it'll be implementing more in this method. So that's going to do it for this video. This has been episode 22 of Programming with Shadow. So thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.